This is The Run Wave, candid chats with real runners about topics that affect the running community.
He's smiling, y'all. He never smiles.
What up, what up?
Well, I want to welcome Jesse, founder of Mid-Strike Magazine, back to the Run Wave podcast. How are you?
What's going on? Glad to be here. Glad to be back.
I'm happy to have you back.
We came a long way in the last year and change.
I know. If you guys might remember, if you're a frequent listener to the show, hopefully you are, Jesse was on the show back in July of 2020 at the launch of Mid-Strike Magazine. So it's been about a year. You're on issue 13 right now?
Going into 15.
I'm behind. He's on issue 14. I should know that. I'm not. Okay, so issue 15. It's October.
October 4th will be the next issue. It'll be our first subscribed issue, I guess you could say that, right? So,
okay, wait, before we get into that. So Mid-Strike Magazine has been free 99 for the whole year, for the first 13 issues.
Yeah.
Starting in October, on October 4th, for the October issue, it is going to be subscription based. And for the Run Wave listeners, Jesse has graciously offered a coupon code, the Run Wave. So if you go on the website, when you sign up, put in the code, the Run Wave, and you'll save how much? I'm putting him on the
spot. 20%.
20%? Okay, Rowan. Okay, so if y'all listening, go subscribe to Mid-Strike Magazine. I'll have the link down below. You'll save 20% using code the Run Wave on your Mid-Strike Magazine subscription.
There we go.
So tell us a little bit about the subscriptions.
Well, as you know, we did free 99, free for the last 13 months. And the reason for that is mainly, the magazine is brand new. Mm-hmm. It's all about exposure. It's all about showing the audience about the content that we're wanting to put out and that we're working to put out. Mm-hmm. And showing the consistency that we've been putting out. So, that being said, we gave it a year, which is kind of honestly
a long time.
Yeah, but in the back of my mind, I kind of knew it was let's just do it for 6 months to a year to see how the feedback is. Mm-hmm. And now, the feedback is good. There's a lot of readers. The readership is high. There's a lot of support. Mm-hmm. And it's time to we want to go the subscribe way. So again, it doesn't mean you don't have access to everything. It opens up. You still have access to the website. But we're just making a subscription base now. So we appreciate everybody's support. Continue to read Mid-Strike Magazine, the diverse runners magazine, for our community. It's great. It's wonderful, and it's just an experience, and it's just growing.
Mm-hmm. And people don't realize it costs money to put this magazine on. You have web fees, you have photographers that you use, you have guest writers on the magazine. So, I think that it was very generous of you to offer the magazine for free for such a long time, because it costs money, and it's a lot of time and effort that you guys put into the product as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of time. We don't. If you notice, every issue feels meaningful, right? So, we're not just putting stuff out where it's just here you go. No, it's the people that we have on, the people that we discuss, the things that we talk about, mm-hmm. all have meaning. So mm-hmm. the way we kind of put together a magazine, as you know, it's all heartfelt per se. So it's all from the core. It's all from inside, as a runner, as you call it. Mm-hmm. Everything starts from within. It's just true feeling and grit of what our community is about. So we want to continue to focus on that. Mm-hmm. It's something that we enjoy doing. So it's something that is not talked about in the larger brands of magazines that are out there. Mm-hmm. And it's something that's not showcased, you know what I mean? So it's something that we want to continue to bring to light about our communities and our run communities. Not just from running, as you can see, we've covered endurance racing, we've covered cyclists, we've covered marathoning, we've covered black-owned businesses, triathletes. So, you know, just the things that we don't have a tendency to see in the normal magazines, what we're bringing to light now. And, you know, that's just to continue growth of the magazine.
So what are the different subscription options?
There's 3 options. We offer 1 month, 6 months, and 1 year. 1 month subscription is for $5. 6 months is for $25, and you get a 10% coupon. So many numbers, I can't remember. I think it's 10%. Don't check the website to get the information that you need. And yearly subscription is $45 with a free gift, courtesy of Mid-Stripe magazine. So,
wait, that's very important. If you get a yearly subscription, you get a free gift.
Yes. So here's a free gift. When you subscribe, make sure you include your size, your shirt size that you wear, and then you get a free gift on Mid-Stripe magazine. Again, you know, we want to be the type we want to show you that we care about the running community. That's the main thing about Mid-Stripe magazine. Because I myself am a runner, and I'm a black runner from the diverse side. So, you know, the things that kind of get ignored when we run, that we tend not to feel, you know what I mean? We just want to make sure that you, our readers, get to feel like you're part of the magazine. Hence why you always see us like on Instagram really like having conversations with the community, because we are the run community, right? So we're having a laugh.
Listen, people, we are on the scene. We're outside, we're in Brooklyn, Jesse's home. So if you hear the elements, we're in the elements.
Yeah, so, you know, the magazine is for the people. And if you notice, like if you catch us on Instagram, we're always having the conversation. We're always having the talks and back and forth and comments on Instagram with runners, because we are the run community, right? I am a runner. I'm part of you guys. We train for races. We run all the time. We have goals that we want to get to. And, you know, it's just something that the magazine and us being part of it, we can relate to. So the main thing is to make sure that we're having those conversations with you guys to really get a feel of what's going on and really get it in tune of like certain things that are happening, so we can kind of explain it in the magazine and talk about it in the magazine. So that's the most important part. So hence why you'll always see us like not just posting and not, you know, replying to comments and all that stuff. No, we want to hear you. We want to get you, you know, your feel of the running community and all that stuff. So yeah, so 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, head over to midstripemagazine.com to the subscribe. You have all the details in there, and yeah, subscribe.
So I want you guys to listen to the first interview from July, so you can see how they do on Instagram, where it started, you know.
Yeah. It's crazy because I catch myself doing that sometimes. It's like I have like a couple quiet moments in a day, and I don't have many quiet moments in a day if y'all know me. But like there are days where I'll sit and I'll look at the first post, then I'll look at the last post. Like today, it's crazy how far.
I know. I do that also.
It's come, like it's grown. It's crazy.
But I want y'all to listen to that interview so you can get to know who Jesse is. I want him to tell you who he is, a condensed version, but he gives a detailed version in that first interview. But just tell us who you are, where you from, how long you've been running, and anything else you want to give him.
Well, you know me as Jesse. Most of y'all know me as Specs, the runner Specs. I've been running since 2016 officially. 6 marathons. After November, it'll be 9 marathons. After this interview, it'll be 9 marathons in November. Halves, I can't even tell you. I'm a runner. So, you know, it's something I enjoy. Something that helps me reset.
You enjoy running?
I do. It's I don't enjoy the first 1.5 miles to 2 miles. Now, anybody tell you I hate it.
Yeah.
You know, if I start running now, I'll probably start cursing the first 1 mile or 2 miles. Like I hate it. And then at like mile 3, something clicks. That's why I don't like running 5Ks. I can't stand 5Ks.
I don't like 5Ks either.
I don't like it.
Because you never like get going, right? It's like it's you start, you try to get in your groove, and it's done.
I can't stand 5Ks. Just the worst. I'll run them, don't get me wrong. I'll run a 5K, but I'm not a fan of 5Ks. Because I feel like you'll start, like you said, you'll start, by mile 3, I'm kind of getting in the groove. But then it's like, all right, there's a finish line. And you got to stop. And you're like, shit, did I curse? Shit, my bad.
You
I just cursed twice.
Run Wave.
But it's like you get in your groove and it's like, oh, it's over. I'm more of like give me a 10K or half. Marathons, I gotta get ready for. Like, I gotta mentally prep for that.
I don't like marathons. I just want to get the 6, maybe 7 in a couple years. I just want to get the 6, and then I'm done with marathons. Half marathon is like the sweet spot. Like,
I agree.
It's
half is definitely a sweet spot.
You can get into your groove, catch your stride, and finish strong.
I don't mind going into a half cold. Like, with no training, I'll do that. But
I used to do that when I used to run a lot. Now, no. But I get you on that. I love half marathons.
I'll take half. Give me halves. Marathons, I gotta mentally get ready for them. Like, and then when it's done, I'm just like, all right, no more running. Like, literally, I think 2 years ago, I did New York and Philly back to back, and in Philly, I just stopped running altogether for like a month. They tell you
it
shouldn't
happens like
do
that sometimes, though.
Yeah.
That was a marathon.
Yeah, it might be the same thing this year. I don't know. Okay, talk to me after New York, y'all. You might not see me running again until like December.
Listen, training is exhausting. Sometimes you just need to just take a break, regroup, and start back up at a.
You actually caught me after a run today.
I know. He's in his run clothes, y'all.
Yeah, I am.
He doesn't smell, luckily. So where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So this is home, formerly home, but born and raised in Brooklyn. Brooklyn for 30. About to tell me. Damn, should I tell my age? I'm getting old now, y'all.
He's 39.
Not yet. Damn.
He'll be 39.
Brooklyn for 36 years of my life. Yeah, so Brooklyn is embedded in my DNA. People ask, where you from? Like, my wife and I, we took a trip. And like, where you from? I'm like, New York is Brooklyn. And she's like, New Jersey. I'm like, oh, yeah,
I say New York.
I say
Brooklyn specifically?
Specifically Brooklyn.
Like, I never say the Bronx. I say I'm from New York. And then they ask you what part, and I'll say where I live now.
Nah, it's straight Brooklyn. I'm sorry for Queens. I'm sorry for the Bronx. I'm sorry for Manhattan. I'm not sorry for Staten Island.
Look, Brooklyn has some good restaurants, but their traffic is the pits.
It's annoying.
There's no highways. There's helicopters.
Yeah, but it's Brooklyn is everything. It's embedded, so it's like that's never gonna leave.
So he's Brooklyn ride or die.
That's right.
BK for life.
That's right. I don't care what anybody says. It's the greatest borough. Mm-hmm. Sorry, y'all.
So, last summer, it was like the whole hoopla of, lack of diversity, lack of inclusion, and that's kind of where the magazine came from.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to mention that other magazine. What? I actually do want to mention them. Okay, so there was a whole thing last year with Runner's World magazine. Runner's World So White. I did a podcast about that, whole debacle that was happening. And, I asked Jesse for his opinion on the topic. And that was at a time where all of these companies, they were whitewashed essentially. And, with the whole George Floyd murder and the protests that were happening, companies were kind of trying to switch gear and become more diverse.
Right.
And Runner's World magazine, that's like the running Bible, right?
Yeah.
That's like what, I wasn't a subscriber though. But that was like the running Bible. That's what runners use for their news.
Right.
And, their articles, their magazine didn't represent us or look like us. So, it was just a whole thing, y'all. If you was there, if you know, you know. But that's kind of how Mid-Strike came about.
It was one of those where it's like, you asked like my opinion. I literally was like, I didn't care. But then my second thought was, if you really think about it, the world that we live in now, there's so many avenues that we have open to us as a community that we don't, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't kind of like really focus on or like.
We don't utilize
right.
the avenues available to us today.
Right. So it's like between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you could build your own website, you could start your own digital content, wherever you want to call it. And I was like, why don't we just start our own digital magazine, right? Mm-hmm. You know, kind of when you say something, you say it, the light bulb goes off, but the other thought is, damn, I shouldn't have just said that.
Because now you got to do it.
Right. So it's like you have two choices then, right? So me personally, you know, I'm very goal-oriented per se. Mm-hmm. And you have two choices. Either you can let it sit and let the idea come to fruition by, you know, whoever else decides to do it, or you can take that vision that you have and make that a reality, right? So for those of you who know me, I'm kind of like a creative mind. I work in production. So my mind, in essence, is kind of always racing, right? I'm always like thinking creatively about something that can be created. So with the magazine, I think we spoke a few times. It's like, hey, you know, after we had that podcast conversation, I was like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because that's when everything started racing. And for me, I was like, I've been running now since 2016, and there are things that I've always wanted to see in magazines that I haven't seen, right? Because you have your run streakers. I'm like, damn, that's cool. You know what I mean? And then you have the people that, you know, the regular people that have run, you know, 10 to 15 marathons, right? That aren't necessarily the runners that we see on TV. Like regular people, just regular people that go to work every day.
Like us.
Working 9 to 5, right? Working 9 to 5, go out, get their training runs in, and then go and run like a 3:20 in a regular marathon or a sub 3.
That's
right?
not me. That part is not me.
But
That's him.
I'm not there yet.
You
getting
close.
there. But
you get there.
for me, it's like I can relate to people like that because those people are us. But we don't necessarily, or they don't necessarily get to shine in the magazines or recognition that they should get. So these are things that I all wanted to see in like a diverse magazine that I feel like just needed to be, you know, highlighted and spotlighted. And that's kind of what the magazine is. It's just pretty much showing what the average runner is, what we accomplish, and things that we have going on outside of running also. Because we're all like beautiful people. We're all creative people. We just don't get that recognition that we should get amongst our peers, which is us. And that's the goal of the magazine. You know what I mean? It's something, you know, and I kind of said this to Black with Endurance a couple weeks ago, where it's like, the magazine is not about me. You know what I mean? Everybody asks, like, oh, you created Image Strike magazine. You. I'm like, nah, it's not about me. I don't want it to be about me. You know, that's not the person I am.
And I like it that you make it not about you, because no one even knows who you are, really.
Right.
Or that you run the magazine.
It's hard to get me on camera, folks.
How many interviews? You did an IG Live like last week. Have you done anything
out of
other
the
than
entire year of the magazine? This is number 3. So this is the 3rd time me being in front of the camera. Outside of me being on IG last year, July, just like running and having a conversation with a camera. I'm not in front of the camera. But that's not me. You know what I mean? I'm more like behind the scenes. But like I said, the magazine is not about me. It's about our community as a whole. It's about Black-owned businesses. It's about spotlighting our journeys. It's about inspiring us in our community. It's about, you know, having a voice. You know what I mean? It's about being positive. It's about just showing the things that don't necessarily get shown in other magazines or on TV or whatnot. That's what the magazine is. You know, it's not solely about, you know, it's not solely about me, you, the contributors. It's about everybody in our community. That's what Miss Straight magazine is.
Tell me about the team behind the magazine.
Oh,
who helped you make this thing
the team
happen?
Is great. The team is awesome. It's a small team, and I'm a fan of having folks that are inspiring, humble, and just mean good, right? So the team is great. We have yourself, Straight Kim.
Me?
Yes. Part of the magazine. We have Curtis John, who's like big on the history of running in our culture, right? As a runner, I don't necessarily know, or I didn't necessarily know all the history between with marathoning and runners, right? Prime example is when I first started running, I knew who Ted Corbett was, but I didn't know who Ted Corbett was, if that makes sense, right? I heard the name, I knew he ran a lot, but outside of that, I didn't really know who Ted Corbett was until like I really started getting into running in like Black Run New York City. And that's when I started seeing these stories. I'm like, holy fucking shit, that's what Ted Corbett did?
Let's say I didn't even know Ted Corbett was like the first president of RCA until I spoke to George on this show. But you interviewed George as well.
Right.
I had no idea.
It's the same thing. And these are all things that our communities don't know. I laugh when I say that because it's things that aren't taught to us or aren't like, really spotlighted to us. That's why it was so important for us to get Gary Corbett into the magazine, right?
His son?
Yes, Gary Corbett is Ted Corbett's son. And for me, doing that was very important because I wanted that to be a time capsule, right? That piece was a time capsule for something that everyone can refer to at some point if they want background story of Ted Corbett and Ted Corbett's past and things that he gave to the running culture, right? It's stuff like that is what Midstripe Magazine is about. Curtis John is big on telling us about the history. Ashley Toussaint, Coach Toussaint, he kind of heads our youth campaign because he has a running edge, and he's pretty much a spotlight in the youth running in our community. So that's Ashley. We have Diana, who's a contributor. She's awesome, based in ATL. Shout out to Diana. We have Ricardo Sandy, who's one of our photographers. Shout out to Ricardo. He's done a couple of photo shots. We have Harry, also in ATL, who's also another photographer. Shout out to Harry. 220 Photography. Ricardo's RCS Images. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. Who am I missing? Karan Allen. So also another contributor. Did some of our feature interviews. Another one that's just like the team. I couldn't ask for anything more. You know what I mean? It's when I started the publication, it was like, well, who can I get to help? And it's like all the pieces just fit right. And everybody has their own thought process, their mindset. And that the advice, the thoughts, the ideas mean well. And that's, genuinely, that's very important. That means a lot, so.
And there's a link on the website called Meet the Team. It's on the toolbar. You can click on there and, check everybody out. Need a photographer, hit them up.
Yeah, make sure you hit up the photographers because we're big on putting that information out there. There's a lot of inspiring people and a lot of creative people and a lot of people that can kind of just support Black owned pretty much. I can't put it any more simpler than that.
So are you open to maybe other writers or contributors joining the team?
Sure.
So what do they have to have or be? What qualifications do they need?
I mean, obviously, I know how to write.
Listen, a lot of folks don't know how to write, okay?
It's weird because, the way the magazine is, if you read our articles, it's like we're getting a run-in with each other, right? So it's like we're going on like a 5K leisurely jog around the neighborhood because the way we try to base it is we're introducing you to runners that you don't necessarily know. So it's like we're getting to know the runner, you're getting to know them outside of running also. So you're getting a peek into what they do because for us as runners, we do a lot of interesting things where we're not in our run clubs, right? So we base the articles off of that, then we bring it to running, and then their goals and how they inspire and whatnot, right? So, we're always looking for writers. So, the whatever you can bring to the table, if it fits, by all means, give us a shout.
And give them are you going to check your email or DM? How should they contact you?
Either or. You can email the DM. I'll always check it. I'm not the type where.
Do you check that other box? Because I had that other box and I had like messages in there.
Facebook?
Instagram. If you don't follow folks, you have that other box and all those.
Oh, no, I check that. Yeah, I check that. I
don't check that. Y'all.
I'm not a hard person to get in contact with. I mean, I might not get to you the first 5 minutes, but at some point I will respond to you in a good time. It's like, I'm not the type where it's like, you hit me up today and I won't respond to you until Friday. Now, listen, if you have a message or comment or concern or email, shoot an email, DM, I'll get back to you.
All right, so we're 13 issues in, 13 different cover
14.
stories. 14 hasn't come up yet.
15's coming.
Oh, shit. 14 issues in. 14 different covers, which you call features.
Yes.
Now, what goes into you choosing who is going to grace the cover of the magazine? Because you've had a lot of different types of people on the cover, from the commissioner of, what was Mitchell Silver? Commissioner of Parks?
New York Parks Commissioner.
You've had runners, you've had mothers, you've had so many different people on the cover. So what do you look for when choosing a cover story, a cover feature?
Wow, that's the first time somebody's ever asked me that question.
Because everyone's just so different. So it's like, you don't have to be fast, right?
No. It's
just,
like, it's how can I answer that? It's more like community-based inspiration, things that you've done, and just interests. You know what I mean? I guess you could base it off of those four. You know, like covers. Like it is at the end. It's more just feeling, really. If I really had to say it, it's more about feeling, about who or what feels right. Mm-hmm. I can't really put it like what do you call it, like a pin on it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of feeling. Like if you know the run community and if you're in it, you kind of know in the back of your mind who kind of like stands out. Like, all right, I wouldn't mind getting, I guess you could say this. The people that you don't know, right? For example, if you saw a runner that you don't necessarily know, but you always in the back of your mind, you say, I wouldn't mind getting a running with that person. I guess you could base it off of that. And that's kind of how I base features a little bit, where it's like, wow, that person seems cool as shit. I wouldn't mind getting like a good 10K in just to get to know them. So I guess you could base it off of that. So
do you approach everyone who is featured, or do people come to you and say, I want to be on your magazine cover?
We've gotten some that said I want to be on a magazine cover.
How'd that
go? And then we've gotten a few where we approached. Now we listen to everybody. You know what I mean? And if it fits, it fits. You know what I mean? It's we're not gonna be like, no. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not gonna work. If it fits, it fits, we'll get it in. If it doesn't, we'll kind of ease it at a later point. But you know, we're not the type who's gonna be like, you can't be a feature. Like, we're not gonna say that. You know, it's a matter of like fitting and molding to where each issue feels right. Because each issue has like it flows, right? Because again, I'm a production guy, so I edit, and I work in production. And when you work in production, there's a lot of ebb and flows, right? Especially as an editor, like things that just feel right. So you kind of like, you're fitting pieces in to where that project or that edit works, right? If this piece doesn't work here, maybe it might work at a later date. So you push it back. If it fits in this realm right now, based on what's going on, let's get it in. So it's kind of based off that, if I really had to say.
All right, so I'm getting cold, so I'm just gonna do a little wardrobe change real quick. How y'all like my new look?
You see what she did there, y'all?
Gotta represent for the brand. Now, what was your favorite cover so far?
I'm not gonna answer that question.
Why?
Nope.
Come on.
Nope. You're not putting me on the spot for that one. Nope.
Okay,
nope,
what was a cover that you really enjoyed doing?
Not answering that one either.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what was my favorite cover.
Every cover has been great. I've enjoyed every cover and every feature. Every person that we spoke to that was a featuring cover brought something to the table that was different each time.
Was there any one person that really, not your favorite, but like their story really like touched you?
Not answering that question.
Come on, he's giving me nothing. Okay, I'm gonna give you two of my favorites. The cover was, of course, I mentioned this in the comment, was Deborah Taylor. She's a Brazilian runner, and you know, I just relate to her because she's a mom. She has, 3 or 4 boys?
Yeah.
3 or 4 boys. I have 2 boys. She's a wife. She's a runner. And, you know, her story just resonated with me. And I like how she doesn't speak English. I met her, you know, a couple of years ago at the marathon, and she speaks like no English. And Jesse translated her article into Portuguese. Who does that? So he went the extra step with her, but her story was just so relatable. And the other story that I really love was, what was the guy's name? The runner that was deaf?
Michael Aglin.
Yes.
From LA Compton Run Club.
Yes. Listen, I went to LA and I was going to try to row in Compton, but I was just doing too much and couldn't make it. But yeah, like a deaf runner, and he also had diabetes as well.
Yeah. And he's run marathons and halves. He was a good one. I'll say that. He's a very, that's the thing with the magazine, is you meet so many people. Like I've been meeting people, like even if it's just through emails or DMs, where it's like, yo, that's inspiring, right? And I guess that's why you'll see us pour a lot of energy into this, because again, it's just things you don't necessarily hear or see every day. You know what I mean? Like people in Compton might know Mike. You know what I mean? Shout out Movement Runners, shout out to them.
Listen, I didn't know him before he was in the magazine.
You know, shout out to Kit, Movement Runners, Blacklist LA, Keep It Run 100, all those LA run clubs who Michael runs with. They might know Michael, right? But then on the east side, on our end, we have no clue who he is. But when you read his article, people on now in the New York side are just like, wow, you know what I mean? So it's stuff like that which makes the magazine so important.
And he was relatable as well, because he's like, that could be like my brother, my uncle, my cousin. Like so many people in the black communities suffer from high blood pressure, from diabetes, hypertension, things like that. And to see someone like him who has a disability, quotation disability, because he is deaf and he is a runner, you know, that just, it's inspiring, really.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's just like, there are times where it's like we put these articles together, and I'll sit back and read it, and I'll be like, wow, you know what I mean? And I'll see that, and automatically I'm like, all right, I get up and go run. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm not gonna say you have no excuse, but it's just like it makes you want to just push and be your best. So you know, that's all inspiration I get from runners. I did a run streak back in March. We both did, right?
He made me do it.
I never did it. I said I would never do that. I said I would never, ever do a run streak. I was like, I'm not doing no damn run streak. And I think it was March or April. I think we did 31 days, right? But to do that for 31 days straight, for me, that's a lot.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
He did his outside. I did mine on the treadmill.
Yeah, it was every day outside for 31 days in March at a 10K, no less than a 10K. And to see people that come out here and do that for 2,000 days at a time.
That's crazy.
It's insane. But people like that, it's just inspiration, right? It's just, I read that, I'm on the couch, it's like, I want to try it, right? Because it's like, you have no excuse. You just give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't,
shoot, I never thought that I would run every day for a month. Now, his minimum was 10K. Mine was 5K.
Yeah.
But, you know, each week I did a 5K, 3 miles this week, 4 miles this week, 5, 6. So I got up to 10K at the end, but I would have never done that, ever. My limit is 3 runs a week.
You gotta run more
if that much.
You gotta run more than that.
So I'm mad you're not gonna tell me who's your favorite.
Nah. Nope.
A hint?
Nope.
Shady. These Brooklyn dudes are out here being shady. So each month, well, I know you sometimes skip, but mostly you have a black business that you feature on the website. Are all of the businesses owned by runners?
No. Some are normal black businesses, and some are, the majority of them are runners who have black businesses. But we do feature businesses that aren't run-based just because they're black-owned businesses, right? So, you know, there's businesses that we should all know about and support. Excuse me, whether it be in person or online. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that we give them love as well. Because, you know, even if they're non-runners, we should still know about these businesses.
Especially if they're in our communities.
Right.
You also have a Black business directory on the site.
Yes, we do. You just reminded me because I haven't done a post in a while for people to drop their Black-owned businesses. If you're watching this podcast
or listening,
make sure you drop your Black-owned business in the comments, and we'll get it into the magazine because we're pretty much trying to build this glossary to be as large as possible.
And it's extensive already.
Yeah,
How many are there?
Probably over 150, I think.
Yeah.
I want to make it bigger though. Like I want people to go to Mid-Strike Magazine if they need any type of Black-owned business to go into that glossary, find their need, and hit that business up.
And there's no charge to be listed.
Nah, not in the glossary. But ad space, hit us up.
So.
We got 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
I gotta catch the 211 train.
Okay. So what is it like for you to run this magazine? Because you have to balance everyday life, work, training for your marathon. So how do you fit it in, essentially?
It's not enough hours in a day. I'll be honest, there's not enough hours in a day. You just gotta find your balance. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's not easy. You know what I mean? It's because we're regular people. You know what I mean? We're parents. We're husbands and wives. We just gotta find a balance. You know what I mean? So you find your way around. You figure it out. You find time to find your play, your peace. You find time to find when you gotta work, and you find time we gotta do the magazine. So, like I said, we're all regular people. We all have to find our balance, mentally and physically. You just make it work. Don't complain. I mean, it's hard, but just take your time, one thing at a time.
Okay, so we're wearing some of the Mid-Strike gear. Mid-Strike does have merch. You have some new stuff coming out?
Yes, we have our new men's and women's racer tank, which is available on the website right now. We have jackets available. We have sale items also. We have on sale stuff. Make sure you hit up midstrikemagazines.com/shop to get everything for your purchase. See our items on sale. And then we're gonna work towards doing a drop every month. That's the goal. That's the new goal.
So you added more to your plate.
Pacing myself. We're pacing ourselves. But look for a drop every month. So next one, we did one this month, which is the racer tank. We'll have another one in October.
So what's next for Mid-Strike Magazine?
Just growth. That's it. Just grow. If you know me, everybody, you know I'm a very humble person. Like I don't ask for much. Don't worry about much. I'm very nonchalant when it comes to a lot of things. So the magazine, just growth. You know what I mean? Wherever it goes, great. Wherever it sits, great. Support is most of all, I'm just thankful for that. Thankful for the run community for continued support, for being there, for giving us a shot when they see us in the streets. Just thankful. So that's it.
Thankful and grateful.
That's right. That's it.
All right. So I want to thank Jesse, founder of Mid-Strike Magazine, for gracing the runway again with his presence. His only third interview to date, and I got 2 with him. Just saying.
If y'all know, it's hard to get me in front of the camera, man. It's really hard. It's never been in front of a camera person. In college, I was.
Wait, but he posts those run selfies in Black Runners Connection.
Dude. But that's for inspiration, though. It's like you can see everybody's training. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, all miles matter. Doesn't matter the pace, doesn't matter the time. Just get your miles in. You know what I mean? If you're running and you're training, just get your miles in. Don't care what the pace is and how long the run is. At the end, just make sure you work. Do your best.
All miles matter. I like that.
Yeah, all miles
I
matter.
need to start getting some miles in too.
I got that from Zaire. Shout out to Zaire, Black Runner in New York City. He started that. All miles matter. So doesn't matter when, just get your miles in, get the work in, do your best. That's it.
Oh, you know what I wanted to mention before we let Jesse go? For Chicago Marathon, you're doing a shakeout run?
Oh, yeah. So 2 actually. We're doing Chicago and New York, possibly Philly. I don't know about that, but possibly.
Philly? When is Philly?
The week before Thanksgiving.
You're running Philly?
I don't know yet.
The week before Thanksgiving. Well, you trained up for it, so.
It depends. So definitely Chicago. If you're in Chicago and area, definitely come out. We'll give you the start location next week. We'll do the start location. We'll give you the map next week. But definitely come out for a shakeout run. It's going to be about 3.5 miles at a sexy pace. Might be a giveaway. If you come out, you'll see.
There'll be a giveaway. Wait, what's sexy pace? Because some of y'all folks, I come out for sexy pace
listen,
and y'all be gone.
Nah,
so what's
it's
sexy pace?
Listen, I'm running a marathon the next day, so it's gonna be like it's probably 10, maybe 11. We're not running fast.
Can the not slow? I'm not gonna say slow, but can the 13-minute milers come out with y'all too?
Yeah. Listen.
Y'all gonna wait for them? It's a no job run.
I have a saying. Your pace, your run. You know what I mean? It's if you're coming out. As you know, Black men run New York City and Black men run. No man is left behind, right? So it's the same thing when we come to shakeout. If you're coming out, your pace, your run. You know what I mean? If you're running your pace, that's the pace we're gonna run. So it's gonna be a 3.5 mile trip to Chicago. Nice little shakeout. If you come through, maybe you'll get a free gift. I don't know. You gotta come through to see. So definitely
walk
Chicago.
away with a cute little Mid-Strike hoodie.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. And we're definitely doing one for New York City also.
Okay.
So New York City is going to be the day before New York City.
So New York City is the first Saturday in November.
It's first Sunday.
So
the shakeout run.
It's been a while.
Yeah, the shakeout run will be that Saturday morning, probably 9 or 10 o'clock. Details still being worked out, but there'll be a shakeout run for New York City. There's definitely one for Chicago. So if you're in the Chicago area, make sure to DM us, hit us up. We'll post every day about it, but definitely having a shakeout run.
So November 6th is New York City, the Saturday before the marathon.
Yeah.
So I might be there, folks. You might see me getting a couple miles in.
Yeah. Nice, easy, sexy pace. New York City too. I already got that route planned out. So.
Is it going to be in Brooklyn, Manhattan?
Nah, it'll be in the city.
Manhattan, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're running the Chicago Marathon or the New York City Marathon, make sure you keep tuned to the Instagram page, the
Yes.
Mid-Strike Instagram page, and Jesse will be posting. Who runs the Mid-Strike Instagram page? Him. So he will post the details of that and the New York City Shakeout Run.
Yeah, details on that coming soon. But yeah.
And if you're subscribed to the Mid-Strike magazine newsletter, you'll receive details there as well.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you again to Jesse for appearing on the Runway podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll catch y'all on the next one.
Deuces.
Later.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Run Wave. If you are a runner that has a story to tell, feel free to email hello@therunwave.com or shoot me a DM on Instagram @therunwave. Don't forget to follow The Run Wave on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are The Run Wave on all platforms. Subscribe to our email list. It is listed down below in the notes of this show. And subscribe to The Run Wave on YouTube. The visual episode of this show will be posted there.